It was pretty eventful in Portland, Oregon over the weekend when Joey Gibson decided that he wanted to throw a rally and freedom march at the Portland waterfront. Now, it was pretty good at the beginning. I got there fairly early, and Trump supporters started trickling in. AntiFa started trickling in. People were having a few conversations here and there. It wasn't too horrible. One of these conversations was a Antifa recruiter who was walking around handing out pamphlets trying to explain to people exactly what fascism was. And he was trying to recruit people to stand against fascism just like he does. Now, he didn't necessarily completely understand what fascism was, and his arguments were pretty off the wall. In this clip that I'm going to show you right now, you'll be able to see a conversation that myself and a couple other people had with him where we essentially brought up history and common sense and logic. Here it is.
And really, everybody should be an anti-fascist.
Well, who supports fascism?
Well,
that's the question.
Sir, I am an anti-fascist, but naming your group the anti-fascist doesn't prove that you're anti-fascist. Anyone can name a group anything that they want.
Yeah, well,
it's ideals and attitudes and actions that determine whether or not you're against fascism.
You're right, and so
I
do
am
you think
against
that
fascism.
street
That's why I'm
fighters
against
in
you.
the Proud Boys are fascists?
No.
Well, they are.
How? Prove
they
it.
support racist ideologies.
Which ideology? They're against ethno-identitarianism. Ethno-identitarianism is a left-wing ideology.
Right. They support ultra-nationalism, though.
Correct.
Anti-immigration policies.
All of which has
racial
nothing to do with
hierarchy
race.
policy.
Incorrect. That's where you got it wrong. The first two you were spot
Militant
on.
supremacy.
Prove it. Citation needed.
Patriarchy. They support all these things that are fascist ideals.
What about suppressing other people's speech? Is that a fascist ideal?
Yes, suppressing other people's speech is a fascist ideal. But you know what? The fascists aren't going to suppress your speech right now. They're going to suppress your speech when they come to power.
Wait, so suppressing other people's free speech is a fascist thing.
Yes.
What about promoting violence against people who disagree with you? Is that a fascist ideology
That's
as well?
also a fascist ideology,
So,
but that's
with those
not
two things
specifically
said, hold on,
fascist.
wait, with those two things said, with the anti-fascist group, that's all you see. Suppression of free speech and violence against those they disagree with, who is just exactly like the brown shirts of Nazi Germany. So explain to me how the AntiFa, which stands for anti-fascism, is not a fascist group, but why aren't they on your list?
They're not on my list, and they're not a fascist group because they're a leftist group. And
So
now,
because they're a leftist group, they get a free pass?
well, leftist groups can't be fascist. Fascism is a far-right ideology.
Because the dictionary says that, right?
Well, yes, the
Okay, so
dictionary...
let me ask you this. Was communist Russia a fascist government?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, that's left. They're
But
communist.
they weren't left. They weren't communist. After Stalin took control, they went far-right.
So, says who?
Says, you know, all the historians who wrote on, you know, Stalin and Mao and all those motherfuckers.
So none of
all
those guys are
awful,
communists?
No.
Mao's not a communist, Kim
authoritarian
Jong-un isn't a
pieces of
communist.
shit.
So they're pieces of shit. So just
So
because they turn into...
basically, right-wing is anyone that you don't like.
Well,
And
no.
anyone who implements your attitudes and then takes it the wrong way suddenly become right-wing.
They don't suddenly become right-wing. They have to make moves to become right-wing.
So Stalin was right-wing.
Stalin-
according to you. How about Mao?
Mao was later right-wing after his...
Oh, of course. Once it went sour, right?
Yeah, once
That's
it
pretty
went south.
convenient, mate. That sounds like a pretty comfortable ideology to be behind.
It is pretty comfortable, you know?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So where's the...
Yeah, you most certainly can.
Where's the critical thinking with that at all? Just because somebody starts doing horrible things under the communist flag, under the left-wing banners,
Right.
and all of a sudden they're not left-wing anymore because they're doing horrible crap?
Well-
so do you equate Antifa with that as well?
Antifa, no, I do not equate them with doing horrible crap. They're not doing horrible crap.
All of
They're
the
trying
riots-
to fight
all of the riots
fascism
that
in the
have
best
done-
way that they think they can. And, you know, they might be wrong in some areas, but they think that you guys are fascists.
So everyone
Just because
makes
they
that
think that
argument.
makes it right?
Destruction of property battery, assault, all of those things that made them a domestic terror group in New Jersey, for instance, they're not doing anything wrong?
Well, they haven't let off any bombs like right-wing groups. They haven't
you're right.
mailed anthrax to people like right-wing groups.
Yeah, they haven't let off bombs except for when it comes to anybody else who opposes them. When they throw Molotov cocktails and bombs within groups of people, what's the difference? And you're talking about, I assume you're talking about the Oklahoma City bombing, right?
I'm talking about the Oklahoma
Find me other
City
right-wing
bombing.
bombers.
Okay, well, the 3%er militia tried
Who'd they
and
bomb?
attempted to let off bombs in Florida and Georgia.
What about
against their
Cascadia?
government.
What about the bombs that they've done? The eco-terrorists, very left-wing, they've killed people. They've blew
Eco-terrorists
stuff
are
up.
different.
But
They're
they're
not
left-wing,
AntiFa.
aren't
I'm here to be anti-fascist. Very simple. Not left-wing, not right-wing. Anti-fascist.
As am I.
Well, I can tell you right now. This whole group of people and almost everybody who's going to come up here, and I'm not part of them. I'm covering it. But since I've been covering them, good luck finding a fascist or anybody who supports fascism in any way, shape, or form in this group. Even the Proud Boys that you call the fascist group, talk to them. Tell me what's fascist about it.
Try Identity Europa. They're a fascist
They
group.
have nothing to do with Proud Boys, sir.
Yeah,
And I
Denounce them.
yeah, good. Good that you denounce them. That's good.
Why are you considering them part of our group?
How about the Pakistanis?
It's a meme.
You're
Yeah,
talking
it's a
about the
meme.
most epic
It is a
troll in
meme.
American
It is a
history.
great troll.
It's a parody of you. It's a parody of left-wing identitarianism.
Get up that right-wing ideals, those fascist ideals, and get people thinking that, hey, it's just a meme, it's just funny. No.
It's a troll.
Yes, it
Just
is.
like this.
That's funny.
Saying okay is white supremacist now, it's a troll. It's made up to make people who have no common sense or critical thinking skills whatsoever freak out over something stupid.
And you
Like
guys
Pepe the
fall for
Frog.
it.
How does somebody get pissed off over a cartoon frog?
You take the bait, man. Don't
Exactly.
take the bait.
Nobody
Don't be
does
so
until
gullible.
people start making it a hate symbol.
Nobody does
No
that.
one.
The only people who use those symbols are trolling other people because they believe some weird, freaked out, crazy notion. That's exactly what you're doing.
Here, take one of these pamphlets.
I got my brother's got one.
Learn about anti-fascism. Learn what
I'll take one.
One of the 16 points. Learn those 16 points that are fascist points. I am going to spend my time handing more of these out and converting as many people as I can to anti-fascism.
What's fascist about
Yeah,
loving your country?
good.
You're okay for doing that. You should.
We're here expressing our freedom.
Good. Good.
Just curious.
That's for
So, what's fascist about loving your country?
Ultranationalism is different than loving your country.
Explain.
Ultranationalism is this great, like, we're waving flags, we're making it. We're making it.
So you're saying, all the people that sign up and volunteer to defend this country, those are ultra-fascists?
Those are
Because they're ultra-nationalists?
No,
Those boys are our heroes, and you're calling them ultra-nationalists because they love their country more than you did or more than most people do?
I'm not saying that they're ultranationalists just because they signed up.
Just because you love your country does not make you a fucking
No, it doesn't. You're right, it doesn't. Just because you love this country does not make you an enemy of this country. But when you take it to the nth degree and say, hey, I love this country so much, I want it to be a whites-only country.
Who's ever said that?
None of
Who
you
is
say
that?
that. I'm not saying any of you say that.
Okay, hold on.
But there are
Somebody say
people
that, I'll
who
bitch
show
slap
up
them for
here who do say that.
So you're talking like about the Klan. Now, like for instance, this guy right here. He's
Yeah.
not white. He loves his country. We'll just use him as an example really quick.
Good, you bet.
He loves his country. Let's say you could call him an ultranationalist. How?
Why do you
I
have to
wouldn't
love
call
your
him an
country?
ultranationalist.
Why do you have to love your country?
Because this is the greatest country in the world.
yeah?
Why not?
How come the greatest country in the world is bombing, has caused millions of deaths in the last 10, 20 years?
Name a country that hasn't. A superpower that hasn't.
Oh, yeah.
Power, the only one that is killing people left and right everywhere.
Like Russia.
7, Russia isn't killing anybody right now.
Ukrainians
Oh,
don't matter to you?
They killed their own damn people.
the U.S. put a puppet in power. You don't know that? Virginia Nuland?
Ukraine.
So what? I have friends over there
Yeah, I
too.
have people that moved from Ukraine that just deal with a lot of shit. Their
You-
parents right now are stuck.
Crimea was Russian for hundreds of years, okay?
Doesn't mean they get to go
And
back.
I don't see why I have to love a country that kills people left and right. 7 countries right now, bombing 7 countries.
used to have it. It's
Okay,
like saying
again,
Germany
what
could
about
have
England?
Poland because they
What
used to
about
have
England?
it.
England is part of this group.
So in other words,
the US is the leader.
any country that has power power, nobody should love that country because they're killing people. Doesn't matter if they're killing good guys or bad guys,
United
right?
States, as Martin Luther King said years ago, is the greatest purveyor of violence in the world, and it still is. And I rest my case.
We're also the greatest purveyors of freedom in the world. Absolutely.
But you have to meet violence with violence.
Okay, is Yemen attacking us? Is Yemen attacking us? Okay, is Iraq attacking us? Okay, is Syria attacking us?
Did Japan attack us?
And that's way back 70 years ago.
Airliner world and more?
That's BS. We just want to spread our system everywhere and subjugate everybody else.
So do we own Iraq? Do we own Iraq? Do we have any say what Iraq does?
Yes, we do.
How?
We have troops there. We have troops everywhere.
Why do we have troops
We have
there?
1,000
We didn't
bases.
for a while.
How many bases does Russia have in the world?
Not as many as we do.
Two. We have 1,000.
Yeah, that's what happens when you save the world.
Save the world.
So as you can see, it's a fairly civil conversation. People were going back and forth, exchanging points, exchanging ideas, even with both of those people, the recruiter and the older guy. That was a decent civil conversation. That's what we want to do when we go down there. That's what Joey Gibson and Patriot Prayer want to do when they go down there. That's what all the conservatives want to do when they go down there, is have a conversation with these people, explain to them why they're wrong, why they're misled, explain to them why they're misguided, and show them the actual facts and the truth and the reality that is this world. Now, as you can see from the next clip, not all of the conversations are civil. You're going to have people who are going to come out and they're going to troll and they're going to try to argue and pick a fight. And unfortunately, that is the majority of what happens at these events. You get people who just don't want to listen. They don't care about your opinion. They don't care about anything. They don't care about facts by any stretch of the imagination. The other thing that these people do not understand is that by doing what they're doing in this next clip, all they're doing is making themselves look stupid. And they're making themselves look completely uneducated. They're making themselves look bigoted. They're making themselves look like the very things that they preach against. Check it out.
I don't care what you are.
Yeah, I think you do.
No, I don't. I don't care who you sleep with. That's not my business. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. So.
Why do you think I had a transsexual speak at my rally? I don't care. That's between you and God. I don't care.
Fuck God.
Okay, well that's your opinion.
This isn't about me and God.
It is in my opinion.
Hate speech.
It isn't hate speech when God doesn't exist, you moron.
So, as you can see, they are the most tolerant people in the world. Joey can sit there and tell them exactly how he feels, how he believes, but they don't care. To them, it's all a lie. To them, it's all just their own delusions that make them believe that anybody who doesn't agree with them 100% must be a bigot and so on and so forth. When all they're doing is showing their bigotry by doing that. So, that's how the whole event started. People were talking, people were arguing, might not have all been civil, but for the most part, it was non-violent. Nobody was hurting anybody, nobody was trying to pick a physical fight with anybody. It was a fairly civil ordeal. Then, after a little while, after a couple more AntiFa was there, and there was quite a few more conservatives there, all of a sudden, from across the Glen, you see AntiFa marching across the field, walking towards both groups. Check this out. Shot from a different angle. Now that's literally how they wanted to start the whole show. That is literally how they wanted to set the tone for the entire rest of the event. And it was fairly effective. Now, I'm not saying that the people on the right side of the spectrum are completely innocent when it comes to, not trying to cause trouble. However, when you have the first people showing up go and they try to do this Trojan charge, running jump kick thing, that's kind of a clue on what they're going to be trying to do for the rest of the event. Now, again, people talk crap. That's what happens. I mean, just watch.
Hey, he's got swimming goggles on. Give him a break, dude. He's got swimming goggles on.
I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you. Guess what? Motherfuckers can get hot slips up. Why look scared, motherfucker?
Get your fucking goggles off. Get out of here, dude.
Joey. You little punk ass motherfucker.
Dude, you think DHS and OSPs are on your fucking ass?
Give a fuck.
You think they're not on you?
You think we do anything?
You think they're not fucking watching your moves? You wear your fucking swimming goggles, you fucking idiot. OSP and DHS are onto you terrorist fucks. Understand it. Understand it. They see your blue eyes. They fucking know who you are. Alright? They're fucking watching all of you.
We don't give a fuck.
You too. Brown eyes. They're fucking watching all of you. All of you. You think Pole's not your problem. Pole's not your problem.
So there's trash talking going on both sides. There's just, it's going to happen, right? Now, but nobody was really violent at that point in time, right? Still, the conservatives were talking crap, and the Antifa side was talking crap. Now, the problem is when all of a sudden, all this talking and trash talking turns into a violent act. For instance, let's call it a sucker punch. So, we now have two different instances where Antifa's sitting there, everybody's doing fairly decent, sure they're talking crap. However, the very first thing they do is they come running and they do a little kicky poo. Second thing they do is hey, I just want to talk to him, and then they sucker punch the guy. Granted, it didn't end well for the sucker puncher. However, who is the violent group? Who are the violent people? Now, what makes it even cooler is that I can sit here and I can show you again who exactly the violent people are. Watch and learn.
Right in the face.
Notice the guy picking up cell phones. I do know that there were some people on the conservative side that did not get theirs back.
Okay, got you.
We're supposed to get that. No, where are you going? Where are you going? Get the fuck go! Come on, listen up! Come in and ruin our shit. Use your pepper spray now. Back up, back up. Front line, everybody. Come here, take the fucking board. Break it up. Hey, break it up. Break it up.
All right, so there were essentially 3 different major altercations. I know I got pepper sprayed 3 times. Not a very good time. I'll tell you what, I'll take tear gas over pepper spray any day of the week. However, there were these 3 fights. There were, and they started by one group. They were started by one group. They were started by people trying to get in and cause trouble. Even the last one with the guy with the skateboard, all Tiny was doing was making sure that he didn't get in there and cause trouble with the rest of the group. So Tiny didn't hit him first. Tiny didn't touch him first. The other guy went nuts. So, and he definitely got what was coming to him. He also went to jail. So, the moral of the story is that we already know who the violent side is. It's apparent. It's clear. It is extremely clear who the violent side is. However, the mainstream media and even the local media will sit there and they will try to paint Joey Gibson, Patriot Prayer, the Conservatives, Joey Nations, all of these other groups who are trying to have rallies for freedom, for what conservatism is, what conservatives stand for. They're trying to paint them out like they're the violent people, like they're the troublemakers. No. Pointing out facts, pointing out truths, pointing out reality is not violence. Punching somebody, running and kicking somebody, hitting people with skateboards, macing people. Now granted, as you can see in that video, there were people on our side who are macing people as well. Not with bear spray though, like the first guy who sat there and threw his can like a little sissy. Did you see that? He threw his bear spray can when it was empty. Did you also notice the sheen on my camera lens after that happened? Yes, that was my whole face. That was great. Now, later on in the day, now again, don't get me wrong. There are some people on that side who aren't about trying to fight people, who aren't about trying to kill other people, who aren't out there trying to destroy property. Yes, they're associated with those people who do. However, for instance, after a little while, the Patriots decided that they were going to march. So they march up through downtown Portland, and then they end up at a park. As soon as we stopped walking and we got in the shade, my sweat on my forehead started running into my eyes. Both of my eyes closed up immediately, and I didn't realize it, but my camera fell off of my tripod. An Antifa girl came up, picked up my camera, walked over to me, tapped me on the shoulder, and told me that I dropped my camera. Now, I was shocked. I'll be honest. I was totally shocked. I did not expect that to happen at all, and I was extremely grateful, and I'm pretty sure she knew that I was extremely grateful because I was just elated. And I was shocked that I even dropped it in the first place. I had no idea. I had total sensory overload. But even then, even at that point in time, and later on in the day, people were actually having conversations with other people. Now, one of those conversations I had with a guy who said that he was a native, and he was telling all the white people that they needed to go home. Now, that started the conversation, and it turned into a whole bunch of other things, like how Trump is king, and all this other stuff. But, I mean, this conversation, and these conversations are so important because it shows you exactly who the crazy people are, the delusion that they live in, the absolute fantasy world that, honestly, our public school system has taught them. It's not true. Most of the things that people on the left believe are just not even true to begin with. And it's up to us. It's up to us as conservatives or people on the right, or at least people with a brain, to sit there and tell them, no, guys, this is wrong. This is not factual information. This is not true. Just like I do right now.
America, you're proud of America. They fucking enslaved the whole race. Hey, you're an American, dumbass. I would apply on citizenship right fucking now. Fuck America.
You say you're native, right? You know how? So I'm Lakota. I'm Lakota.
Pride.
My people enslaved a shit ton of people. So did yours. So how can you blame white people for slavery when, since you claim to be native, your people did the same thing?
Everybody came and took America. They took America. They said, here, it's worth this. Take this. They fucked Native Americans over. How can you support somebody that have fucked Native Americans?
History, man. We gotta talk about
it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's history.
Every nation, every civilization since the dawn of time has done that. Natives did that. Everybody takes land. That's what they do.
Yes, but the way that Americans did it and the way that the America that you guys are supporting, it's going to happen against everybody. You know, you guys are supporting an America that's going to ruin the society no matter what color, no age, gender, nothing. We're all just going to be fucking non-accepting of who we are. We're all going to be supportive of nothing, absolutely nothing. There's going to be no support in this fucking life, and we're all going to be slaves to our fucking selves.
Are you talking about Trump? You're talking about Trump? Okay. But Trump's just the president, though. Don't you think that there's enough people that don't agree with that kind of ideology that Trump couldn't do that if he wanted to?
No, because Trump can do anything he wants as a fucking president. Oh, let me scratch that. Fucking dictator. He's trying to build a wall to separate people from America. What is the reason for that? It's a reason that people want to come here. It's because innocent people are being killed in other countries. What do you think of that?
What about the people that are doing the trafficking and the drug trafficking and the sex trafficking and the cartels and those guys? That's primarily what the wall's about.
Where are the people investigating?
Yeah, sure.
You think all drug traffickers structure are different color than white?
Say again?
You think are they not white or different color than white?
No, color has nothing to do with it. I mean,
Mexico have to do with it.
We had over 100,000 Chinese come over the southern border.
What does that have to do with anything? What does it matter?
It's just the border. The border needs to be secured.
Not build a wall and keep everybody out.
It's not about keeping everybody out. It's making sure people.
It's keeping people out.
It's to make sure that people go through the process. It's to make sure that people go through the process to become an American citizen. That's what it's about.
Stop being an American citizen.
Think about what the Israelis did. They walled themselves.
Everybody's homeless.
They also walled people out.
I'm into electronics.
So yeah, I mean, the amount of crazy that's in there is astounding, right? It's just nuts how some of these people can believe what they do. But did you notice that as soon as I told him, hey, your people have taken slaves too, your people have conquered people too, he had nothing to say about it. He changed the subject. Do they not understand their hypocrisy? Do they not understand that they're spouting off lies and emotional rhetoric that has no basis of reality whatsoever? This is one of the reasons why I go and I cover these events. A, to bring you the actual news. I go to these events and I cover them because I know for a fact that the mainstream media and even the local media is going to twist them in ways that just aren't even possibly true. CBS, the actual CBS, not local CBS, but actual CBS was there. Now, I haven't seen their coverage yet, but I'm sure going to, and I'm going to be calling it out for being what it will be. What I know it will be. Now, Portland, Oregon itself has probably 3 or 4 liberal rags that people read, like Willamette Weekly, the Oregonian, and a couple other ones. And even, Channel 6, Channel 2, Channel 8 typically paint a picture that's not necessarily accurate. So that is why I believe that it is my job to bring to the people, to the actual people, the actual news, the real news, what really happened. I don't cut my videos. I don't cut stuff out of my videos. I post them exactly how I record them. And sure, I will maybe do segments and stuff, but I don't edit them to make it look like one side did something else. Even in this video here that I'm making, I showed the video of Joey Nations talking crap to the other guy. Yes, I even showed the part where the 3%er guy pepper sprayed, the Antifa people. That's what happened. That's the truth. Now, I will guarantee you that if somebody else had my footage, they would sit there and only show the 3% pepper spraying a guy. They would only show Joey Nations, quote-unquote, trying to pick a fight. They wouldn't show the sucker punch. Sure, they would probably show the drop kick just because to a lot of people that was super cool. But this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why what I am doing is so important. It is time for America to see the reality and to see the truths that happened. And it's also time for America to wake up and hear the truths, to have the conversations, to stop fighting, to stop assaulting people just because they disagree with you. I would be just as happy recording people having conversations as I am catching all the violence and stuff. Now, granted, a lot of people get pretty bored with conversations, and I'll probably get more hits with the violence. Thank goodness we live in a country where there is an entire generation of entitled little brats who are out thinking that the world owes them everything they have and everything that they want to have. Because with an attitude like that, with participation trophies going out like crazy, with colleges sitting there saying, if you're stressed out, let's talk and we'll give you an A. No joke. We broke the story. Washington Times covered it. A whole bunch of other places picked it up. Yeah, that's the country we live in. That is why CSC Media Group US, Liberty One TV, my YouTube channel, my Facebook pages, other people's YouTube channels, other people's Facebook pages are so important. And that is why we're being suppressed. Because they don't want the truth getting out. There is no fake news at all coming from actual conservatives. None whatsoever. This is the reality that we live in this country, and it is on you whether or not you're going to be on the right side of it or the wrong side of it. And I'm not talking just politically. I'm talking about integrity. I'm talking about intelligence. I'm talking about common sense. Where do you stand and who are you?